I did go ahead and read through some articles, I'm going to go ahead and give this trigger warning. Again, a trigger warning. Domestic violence times 10. If you thought that DDG was bad, which he is, he's horrible. Deondre Burgin is 10 times worse than him. So again, this is your trigger warning. Let's get into it. Now, I'm going to start this off by reading through the AI overview of the situation, and then we're going to dive into an article, and then we're going to wrap this video up, right? So it seems like the girlies cannot catch a break from these abusive ass baby daddies and these abusive ass men in general. First, Halle Bailey with DDG, now Skai Jackson with Deondre Burgin, who is also her baby daddy, okay? Now, Skai Jackson was recently granted a temporary restraining order against Deondre Burgin, the father of her child, after alleging a pattern of domestic violence, okay? Key points about the restraining order. Who? The restraining order was filed by Skai Jackson against Deondre Burgin, who is the father of their son, Kasai, all right? Why? Jackson alleges Burgin subjected her to physical abuse, including choking, scratching, and slamming her head against walls over an extended period. She also claims he threatened her and her unborn child during her pregnancy, okay? When? The temporary restraining order was granted on May 19th, 2025 in Los Angeles. That was 2 days ago, you guys. 2 days ago. What it means, the temporary restraining order requires Burgin to stay at least 100 yards away from Jackson and their son and her dog, Otis. It also prohibits him from contacting her directly or indirectly. A hearing for a permanent restraining order is scheduled for June 9th, okay? Additional details. Let's get into it. Jackson detailed numerous instances of alleged abuse in her restraining order request, including an incident where Burgin allegedly demanded she drink bleach to terminate her pregnancy. Yeah, you heard that right, all right? Jackson claims to have video evidence to support some of her allegations. The restraining order also covers Jackson's son, Kasai, preventing Burgin from visiting the child, all right? Prior incidents, okay? In August of 2024, Jackson was arrested on suspicion of domestic battery after allegedly pushing Burgin during an argument at Universal Studios of Hollywood, all right? However, the LA County District Attorney's Office declined to press charges. That matters, okay? So before they try to spin this whole narrative that Skai Jackson is the aggressor and that she would beat on him, we need to establish she was likely defending herself, all right? And we're going to get into exactly why I say that. Deondre Burgin demanded she drink bleach while pregnant, Skai Jackson says. Okay, let's get into this article. Skai Jackson is detailing horrific abuse she endured from Deondre Burgin, her baby daddy, y'all. The Jessie alum who welcomed baby Kasai with her ex in January filed for a restraining order against Burgin May 19th, alleging several instances of domestic violence that occurred in the last year. In the documents, Jackson detailed that during an occurrence last June, Burgin became jealous after she received a text noting he was jealous that a male texted me, so he broke my phone, choked me against the kitchen countertop. What in the hell, y'all? Jackson went on sharing that Burgin demanded her to drink bleach to kill their unborn child. The 23-year-old explained that he then escorted her out of their home at knife point and led her to the driver's seat of her car. If I called out for help, he would stab me in the stomach, Jackson wrote, noting that Burgin went on to call a friend to tell him he was about to kill me. So this dude had the audacity to ring up one of his homies and tell one of his homies that he was about to kill Skai Jackson. Wow. All right. After the alleged phone call, Jackson noted that Burgin told her to drive to a doctor to attempt to get an abortion. But peep this out, y'all. When she listened to him and was about to drive to go and get said abortion, right? When I tried, he asked me if I was crazy. Jackson continued, and why would I want to kill our unborn child? So you're going to tell her, you're going to threaten her at knife point to go and kill the child, go get an abortion, and then when she decides that she's going to go abort the child like you told her to do, then you flip it on her by calling her crazy and then start questioning her on why she was going to go do it, as if you didn't just tell her to go do it. Child. In addition to alleging Burgin has physically assaulted her multiple times, Jackson detailed experiencing abuse weekly between the months of May and October of 2024. The Disney alum noted that he also once used a handgun to threaten her. A handgun, you guys. I locked myself in the bathroom and he said if I did not come out, he would break through the bathroom door. She described of an altercation that occurred in July 2024. He then punched and kicked through the door, breaking it in half, slammed me into the bathroom wall, and choked me until I could not breathe. Elsewhere in her filing, Jackson asked for the restraining order to extend to the couple's 3-month-old son, alleging that Burgin had assaulted her as recently as Mother's Day. Mother's Day was the 11th of May. That was only about 10 days ago, you guys. Deondre Burgin assaulted me while I was holding our son, she noted. He grabbed me by my hair, slammed my head on the backseat window of my car, and hit me in the face while holding my son. What a demon. All right. Jackson emphasized that she does not feel safe with Burgin around her or their child, adding that during the May 11th incident, he also said F their child. What the hell? All right. Although Jackson's request for a permanent restraining order is still pending, she has been granted a temporary restraining order for herself and her son from Burgin until a hearing next month. E! News has reached out to Burgin regarding Jackson's filing, but has not heard back yet. The article to gather a little bit more information. So allegedly, Burgin, her baby daddy, does own 3 guns, okay? And that's part of the restraining order to require him to give up his guns, okay? Now, news of the restraining order comes roughly 9 months after Jackson was arrested on suspicion of domestic battery for allegedly pushing Burgin during an altercation at Universal Studios. However, LA County District Attorney declined to file formal charges against the actress. Now, if they declined to file charges, it's for good reason. Likely because they understand that he was the aggressive and she was simply defending herself, okay? At the time of her arrest, she reportedly told law enforcement that she and Burgin were engaged in expecting a child, all right? Burgin himself was arrested last month for an outstanding warrant, according to TMZ. At the time of their son's birth in January, Burgin was serving a 90-day sentence for parole violation for an earlier theft and weapon possession case in Ohio, okay? So, Skai Jackson, why you sat there and got knocked up? Why you sat there and even entertained yourself with a little thug dusty bucket? You're so much better than that. And I just wish sisters understand that. You are better. Stop giving dust buckets the time of day. Stop allowing them to come into your life and abuse you and leech off you and use you up, all right? I wish sisters would stop doing this because I don't even understand what she found attractive about him. I don't know if she was searching for the bad boy thing or what, but sis, what? So y'all, that pretty much wraps up all the information on this case so far that has come to the public. I just want to say again, I wish that sisters would understand when you guys are reaching the epitome of your career, do not self-sabotage by entertaining men who are not on your caliber, all right? You don't need a jailbird. You don't need somebody who's aggressive. You don't need somebody who's disrespectful, who calls women out their name, who is a part of this thug culture. You do not need that. So stop doing it. I can say this until I turn blue in the face, but we all know that cases like Halle Bailey and Skai Jackson will continue because for some reason, a lot of sisters prefer the bad boy thing. And in this case, you can't even say, oh, he portrayed to be good and all this other stuff, because if you look at his rap sheet, the man has a long rap sheet of criminal activity, which shows you that even if he does pretend to be a gentleman with you, he has that savage inside of him, which will be a red flag enough for me to not even entertain him. And if you say that she didn't know, well, that then starts the conversation of, we need to be doing research and learning a person before we decide to date them, all right? So either way, we do hold some accountability in the men that we choose, and I will forever stand on that. But at the same time, no, we do not deserve to be abused, and no, our ignorance as to choosing the wrong person doesn't mean that we deserve to be abused, right? So 2 things can be true. But definitely let me know you guys' thoughts in the comment section below. And I just hope that just like Halle and other women who have come before them, 2 ladies, that they do remain safe, they keep their child safe, and that the permanent restraining order is granted so that she can have legal custody of her son as well as Halle. I'm wishing the best for Halle as well. So let me know you guys' thoughts again in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.